Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we're spilling the secrets behind the amazing transformations of your favorite stars. Ever ask yourself how celebrities maintain that perfect appearance in front of the camera or at big events? In this video, one of the world's leading surgeons will be sharing the high-end techniques and latest trends that stars are using to achieve a completely flawless look. So, stay tuned. Have you ever thought about getting a little work done? If you have, drop a 1 in the comments. If it's never crossed your mind, leave a 0. I'm genuinely curious to know what you all think about modern plastic surgery. And hey, if you found this video interesting or helpful, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. It really supports me in bringing more topics like this to you. Every single sub is massive motivation and helps the channel grow. Today, we're diving into the heartbreaking story of Carol Bryan, whose journey into the world of cosmetic surgery took a painful and unexpected turn. It all started back in 2009, when she was just looking to improve her appearance with some dermal fillers. But things quickly took a tragic turn, changing her life forever. At 47, Carol simply wanted a more youthful look, thinking cosmetic procedures could help her get her confidence back. She had no idea that a dangerous combination of 2 different fillers, including silicone, had been injected into her forehead and cheeks. Instead of getting the results she hoped for, her face began to swell, distort, and harden until she was almost unrecognizable. The damage only worsened over time, and despite desperate attempts to fix it with treatments and surgeries, every try just led to more pain and frustration. Her once bright life was quickly replaced by deep isolation and despair. Carol even admitted that, in those darkest moments, she considered ending her own life. Still searching for an answer, Carol couldn't escape the painful reality. In 2013, she went to a facial specialist for reconstructive surgery, but tragedy struck again. The surgery caused irreversible damage to her optic nerve, leaving her permanently blind in one eye. With incredible courage, she continued to fight through both the physical scars and the deep emotional trauma. She had to endure numerous additional surgeries, including skin grafts and facial reconstruction, in an attempt to restore both function and her appearance. Now 58, Carol is still battling the deep scars left behind by this traumatic experience. At the same time, Carol has been incredibly open about her struggles with self-esteem, the psychological burden, and the simple challenges of maintaining her dignity. Her story is more than just a reminder of the potential dangers of cosmetic surgery. It's a powerful lesson on the importance of thorough research, extreme caution, and truly understanding the risks before going under the knife. Her courage in sharing her journey has shined a light on the dark side of the beauty industry, urging others to think long and hard before making similar decisions. Michael Jackson's journey with plastic surgery isn't just iconic, it's one of the most controversial in music history. When you compare photos of him as a kid to the last images taken before his death in 2009, the transformation is staggering. It's a change that has fascinated and baffled millions worldwide. Michael's quest for physical perfection started subtly with small changes. His very first procedure was a rhinoplasty in 1979, which he said was necessary after an accident on stage damaged his nose. But according to his family, here's a wild twist. Michael allegedly had his sister LaToya get a similar nose job first, almost like a test run before he committed to the procedure himself. After being satisfied with those initial results, Michael Jackson took the plunge, paving the way for a series of even more ambitious surgeries. Experts believe he underwent numerous rhinoplasties, got cheek implants, had work done on his eyelids, and even received chin implants. Some surgeons estimate he had dozens of procedures, though that number falls short of the sensational 100 surgeries the media love to report. Jackson's obsession with altering his appearance wasn't just a reflection of his artistic vision. It was also a clear sign of his deep inner struggles. He openly discussed his dissatisfaction with his own looks, often explaining the surgeries as being for health reasons, like addressing breathing problems he claimed were caused by his nose job. But without a doubt, the most controversial change to Michael Jackson's appearance was his skin lightening. According to many sources, this was due to vitiligo, a condition that was actually confirmed during his autopsy. Throughout his life, however, this remained massively controversial. Despite it all, Jackson always tried to define himself and present a more complete version of himself through his image and his music. His legacy lives on through his groundbreaking contributions to music and performance. Michael Jackson's ever-changing appearance remains a central, complex part of his life story. It serves as a lasting reminder of the intense pressures that come with that level of fame. His transformations weren't just physical, they reflected his deep psychological struggles, fueled by pressure from the public and the entertainment industry. Michael Jackson left behind an inspiring legacy, but also one filled with unanswered questions. So, this brings up a big question. Do you think celebrities should be open about their plastic surgery, or should they keep it private? If you think they should be candid, drop a 2 in the comments. If it's never crossed your mind, leave a 0. I'm genuinely curious to know what you all think about modern plastic surgery. And hey, if you found this video interesting or helpful, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. It really supports me in bringing more topics like this to you. Every single sub is massive motivation and helps the channel grow. Jocelyn Wildenstein, known worldwide as Catwoman for her feline-inspired appearance, remains one of the most intriguing figures in the celebrity world. At 84, she continues to defy conventional beauty standards with a face that has fascinated and shocked the public for decades. But this is where the story gets really interesting, when you start digging into the why behind her unique look. Despite her striking features, Jocelyn has always maintained that her beauty is not the result of countless plastic surgeries. She claims her distinctive look is thanks to genetics and, as she puts it, a little Swiss flair. According to Jocelyn, her unique beauty is simply a gift from her parents, enhanced by high-end Swiss skincare products. Jocelyn's words, however, haven't been nearly enough to shut down the speculation about her cosmetic procedures. For years, the belief has been that Jocelyn has spent millions of dollars on surgeries to get her signature cat-like eyes and perfect body contours. Reports suggest procedures ranging from a full facelift, eyelid lifts, and cheek implants, plus several other surgeries have cost her over $4 million. Jocelyn, however, strenuously denies all of it. She claims her smooth skin is natural, her facial features are just naturally shaped, and that rumors of botched cosmetic procedures are nothing more than tabloid fabrications. To Jocelyn, all the whispers and press coverage are simply an attempt to sensationalize her image.
But skeptics find it hard to swallow that genetics alone could produce such a drastic and permanent transformation. Love it or hate it, Jocelyn Wildenstein has become an enduring figure in popular culture. Her instantly recognizable appearance has sparked endless debates about excessive beauty treatments and the absolute limits people will push to reinvent themselves. In many ways, Jocelyn defied the typical plastic surgery disaster stereotype and carved out her own niche as a living legend of transformation. So the big question remains, was Jocelyn really the product of impeccable Swiss genes and miracle creams, or was her transformation the result of one of the most lavish plastic surgery journeys in history? It's a mystery that continues to fascinate the world and keeps her in the headlines even to this day. As a true fashion icon, Donatella Versace has left an unforgettable mark on the world of fashion and beauty. But behind that glamorous image lies a story of relentless pursuit, a blend of art, self-expression, and a controversial obsession with beauty. From a young age, Donatella showed a passion for beauty and transformation. As a teenager, she began dyeing her hair blonde, a move encouraged by her brother, the legendary Gianni, who believed that platinum look would make her stand out. That first experiment in reinvention was just the beginning of a lifelong journey, where she constantly shaped her appearance to match her personal vision of beauty and glamour. Over the decades, Donatella's face has become just as distinctive and recognizable as her fashion empire. It's no secret. Experts and industry insiders have openly discussed her extensive use of cosmetic procedures. Botox, dermal fillers, and laser treatments are considered the staples of her beauty regimen, with each one leaving its mark on her face. Renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Steve Follick has even confirmed the sheer number of procedures she's undergone, noting that these interventions, together, have shaped the bold, signature look she's known for. Public reaction to Donatella has always been split right down the middle. For some, she represents the pitfalls of excessive cosmetic work, a face so altered it's almost unrecognizable. But for others, she's a courageous role model, someone who has embraced her choices without regret, refusing to conform to society's expectations of natural beauty. And through it all, Donatella has never shied away from facing the scrutiny. In a super candid interview with Love magazine, she shot down the idea that natural beauty is over-glorified. She even joked that it doesn't appeal to her at all, comparing it to vegetables. Instead, she insisted that your personal look is your choice, a form of self-expression that's way more powerful than just conforming to cultural standards. At 69, Donatella remains one of the most powerful women in fashion, carrying on the Versace legacy with her signature platinum blonde hair, bold style, and unmistakable presence. Her transformation, both personal and physical, is more than just a symbol of vanity. It represents embracing change, asserting her identity, and flat-out rejecting society's rules about beauty. Pete Burns, the iconic frontman of the British band Dead or Alive, isn't just remembered for his massive 80s hit You Spin Me Round Like a Record. He's also remembered for his tumultuous and tragic relationship with plastic surgery. Pete's striking looks and outspoken personality made him a cultural icon. But beneath that bold exterior was a lifelong obsession with cosmetic procedures that nearly cost him everything, his fortune and his health. It all started with a seemingly simple nose job to fix a broken nose. But that first step opened the door to a cycle of surgeries that spiraled far beyond anyone's expectations. Over the years, Pete Burns underwent a staggering number of surgeries and cosmetic treatments, totaling nearly 300 procedures. Unlike most people who struggle to recover from just one major operation, Burns was in a constant loop of surgeries, many of which were just to fix infections, complications, or results he wasn't happy with. Pete's face changed dramatically over time, becoming not only a symbol of his bold personality, but also a stark representation of the dangers of obsession. He was always open about his journey, admitting it wasn't just vanity, but an attempt to create his own identity, a refusal to conform to a normal life. Doctors repeatedly warned Pete about the health risks and physical damage, but he remained completely undeterred. He was determined to chase his own vision of perfection, even knowing it was always just out of reach. Despite the pain, the financial hardship, and the health risks, Pete never regretted his decisions. He saw his transformation as an extension of his art, a performance of self-expression that was just as important to him as his music. Pete's resilience and defiance, even in the face of intense public scrutiny, made him a revered figure. Those who admired his boldness and individuality saw him as an icon of self-expression, completely unafraid of social judgment. Sadly, Pete Burns' journey was cut short in 2016 when he died from natural causes at just 57 years old. His death marked the end of a life filled with controversy, creativity, and constant reinvention. Today, Pete's story serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the extremes of self-expression. It forces us to reflect on just how far someone will go to stand out, feel unique, and project the image they've built for themselves, no matter the cost. Dennis Avner, known to the world as Catman, was a U.S. Navy veteran and computer programmer who underwent 14 major surgeries in a spiritually inspired quest to transform his body into a tiger. The procedures were extreme: implants under his skin to change his face shape, pointing his ears, flattening his nose, getting whisker implants, and even experimenting with a prosthetic tail. Despite holding down a job in the tech industry, his one-of-a-kind appearance grabbed massive media and public attention, landing him on popular shows like Larry King Live. Avner's story sparked huge debates about the limits of body modification and the freedom of self-expression. While it's not an official record, he is widely considered the most extreme permanent transformation into an animal. Avner passed away in 2012 at the age of 54, leaving behind a complex legacy and a lot of questions about personal identity and the very definition of beauty in our modern world.
Hang Miyoko is a shocking example of how an obsession with plastic surgery can absolutely ruin a person's life. Known for her relentless focus on changing her appearance, Hang's story isn't just about beauty, it's a chilling reminder of the consequences of obsession and a lack of self-control. Once a model and aspiring singer, Hang started getting plastic surgery at 28, just hoping to get smoother, more youthful skin. But that dream quickly spiraled into a powerful compulsion, leading her down a dark path that left her with permanent physical and mental scars. Hang's transformation journey began in South Korea and continued in Japan, where she underwent multiple surgeries, desperate to change her appearance. But her obsession only grew, and doctors finally started cutting her off. They refused to perform any more procedures, warning her of the dangers and realizing her addiction was totally out of control. When she returned to Korea, the changes to her face were so extreme that even her own parents struggled to recognize her. She initially sought help from a psychiatrist, but eventually she ditched therapy and just went back to hunting for any doctor willing to operate. Jessica Alves, who you might remember as Rodrigo Alves, is a British-Brazilian TV personality famous for her extensive and very publicly documented plastic surgery. Her story isn't just about beauty, it's a deep dive into identity, self-expression, and the challenges of pushing back against social norms. Born on July 30th, 1983 in São Paulo, Brazil, Jessica comes from a mixed background, with a Brazilian mother and a British father. Her dad's side of the family has roots in Europe, originally coming to Brazil in the 1940s. They started in farming and eventually grew into a business spanning supermarkets, shopping malls, and real estate. From a very young age, Jessica recognized and embraced her femininity. She loved playing with the Barbie dolls her grandfather gave her and expressed herself through clothing and games traditionally seen as for girls. Even though she was assigned male at birth, Jessica has always challenged society's rigid ideas about gender. During her teenage years, Jessica faced a hormonal imbalance that caused her estrogen levels to spike, leading to unexpected breast growth. Those changes, combined with her unique personality, unfortunately made her a target for bullying. But through all that struggle, Jessica was determined to express her true self. Over the years, she underwent more than 103 cosmetic procedures, including multiple nose jobs. However, those surgeries came at a heavy price. They left her with no sense of smell. Her transformation journey was extreme and expensive, costing over $650,000 by 2018. But for Jessica, these surgeries weren't just frivolous. They were part of her steadfast commitment to making her outside appearance match her inner identity. Jessica's journey really shines a spotlight on the complex issues of gender identity, self-expression, and the intense cultural pressures surrounding beauty. Her transformation has sparked massive controversy and public curiosity. But at the same time, it has also demonstrated incredible courage, the courage to pursue authenticity in a world that is so quick to judge. Despite facing medical complications and constant public scrutiny, Jessica has remained steadfast in her pursuit of self-expression. Her life is both an inspiration and a cautionary tale about the complex intersection of aesthetic identity and personal empowerment. She truly exemplifies this challenging, yet rewarding journey.
April Michelle Brown's pursuit of beauty took a terrifying turn when a simple procedure became a living nightmare. Hoping to enhance her appearance, April went to an unlicensed practitioner for butt injections. She had no idea that this one decision would lead to a life-threatening disaster, one that eventually cost her both of her arms and both of her legs. The procedure used industrial-grade silicone, a substance similar to what you'd find in a hardware store for construction, which caused severe tissue damage and raging, dangerous infections. What started as a cosmetic fix quickly turned into a desperate fight for her life. April's story is a horrifying warning about the dangers of unregulated black market procedures, especially when you put your trust in untrained individuals. As April learned in the most devastating way possible, the consequences can be catastrophic and completely irreversible. After that heartbreaking incident, April had to endure a total of 27 surgeries just to remove the infected tissue and stop the infection from spreading. The physical pain and the immense emotional trauma were almost too much to bear, but she refused to give in to despair. Instead, April showed incredible resilience, learning to live with prosthesis and pushing forward with her new life. Her story is a terrifying wake-up call about the allure and danger of cheap cosmetic procedures that promise big results but carry life-or-death risks. For April, each surgery was a painful step towards regaining control of her body, even in circumstances no one should ever have to endure. By overcoming these enormous physical and mental challenges, April Michelle Brown proved that the human spirit can truly endure the unimaginable. Simon Cowell, the iconic music exec and TV personality behind global hits like The X Factor and Got Talent, recently underwent a dramatic transformation, sparking widespread speculation about cosmetic procedures. In 2023, Cowell openly admitted that he'd been getting treatments in his quest for a more youthful look. However, the results left him virtually unrecognizable, with many comparing his new appearance to something out of a horror movie. This didn't just shock fans, it also had a profound impact on Simon personally, especially since his young son, Eric, reportedly struggled to adjust to his dad's drastic new look. To fix the situation, Cowell decided to have some of the fillers from his previous procedures removed and pivot his focus to more subtle facial treatments. His goal now is to maintain a natural, youthful appearance without the extreme or unnatural results he experienced at first. Cowell is also emphasizing his holistic approach to health and fitness, focusing on a more balanced and sustainable way to take care of his body and appearance. Cowell now follows a balanced diet, prioritizes hydration, and focuses on his overall health rather than just how he looks. This change reflects his commitment to sustainable, long-term self-care. Cowell's journey serves as a reminder that even the most famous figures are not immune to the pressures of maintaining a youth-focused public image. His experience highlights the importance of moderation, making thoughtful decisions, and blending overall health with personal aesthetics. Today, Simon Cowell continues to be a dominant force in the entertainment industry. His evolution, in both his look and in his lifestyle, proves that innovation can come in many forms, from subtle cosmetic enhancements to simply embracing a healthy and sustainable approach to aging. Wendy Williams has built a media empire with her sharp, candid, unfiltered voice. Before The Wendy Williams Show became a television phenomenon, she was a popular radio host known for her bold style and willingness to share celebrity gossip and secrets. Her honesty and no-nonsense approach quickly won her the trust and attention of a wide audience.
By the late 2000s, Wendy's talk show had become a venue for candid, sometimes brutal conversations that attracted millions of viewers every day. With her nearly 6'10" height, authoritative demeanor, and signature wigs, Wendy became an unmistakable and recognizable figure on screen. However, behind her confident exterior, she struggled with deep insecurities. Unlike many stars who turn to plastic surgery when their careers begin to decline, Wendy decided to change her appearance while still at the height of her fame, as a way to maintain her appeal and control her own image in the public eye. In the 1990s, she underwent breast augmentation surgery, which she proudly shared was the secret to achieving the fuller figure required for television. She later opted for liposuction to slim down and balance out her figure. Initially, these decisions made her feel stronger and more confident. Wendy often shared on her show how she achieved her desired look. However, over the years, the surgeries transformed from an act of self-affirmation to a fight for survival. The pressure to maintain her appearance, especially as a woman running a visual media platform, forced her to undergo repeated surgeries. Botox stiffened Wendy's expressions, fillers altered her natural features, and rhinoplasty disrupted the symmetry she once had. By the 2010s, viewers began to notice visible changes in her appearance. Wendy's face became puffy, her body proportions were unbalanced, and her once bright smile was obscured by swelling and stiffness. Her internal struggles, combined with a troubled marriage to Kevin Hunter that ended in betrayal and public scandal, took a serious toll on her mental health. Instead of seeking healing, Wendy continued to pursue surgical transformation, hoping that a new face could open a new chapter. But the more she changed, the less recognizable she became, and she no longer resembled the vivacious host audiences once loved. What makes Wendy's story so tragic is that she was never defined solely by her looks. It was her wit, her boldness, and her ability to connect with her audience that made Wendy Williams a unique host. But as she gradually succumbed to Hollywood's harsh standards of youth and perfection, Wendy lost the very personality that made her shine. Fans who once laughed and cried with her now silently marvel at her transformation, sometimes forgetting that she was once a woman who dared to speak the truth when no one else did. Wendy Williams remains an icon in entertainment history, not only because she hosted one of America's most popular talk shows, but also because of the profound lessons she learned in her own life. Wendy's story is a reminder that the price of pursuing youth is not just measured in surgeries and scars, but also in the fading of one's identity. In the battle between fame and the pressure to maintain her image, Wendy has left a legacy: candor, courage, and human failings.
Tichina Arnold was never just a pretty face. She was a comedic force with a strong personality and a powerful screen presence. In the 1990s, audiences fell in love with her role as Pam in the series Martin, a sharp, quick-witted, and equally witty best friend. This role helped her cement her place in the hearts of fans as a talented actress, not just based on her looks. She then went on to captivate a new generation of audiences with her role as Rochelle in Everybody Hates Chris, a humorous, straightforward, and down-to-earth mother figure that further highlighted her versatility and depth of acting ability. Unlike many of her contemporaries, however, Tichina's career was not built solely on image, but on genuine talent and strong character. However, Hollywood remains ruthless to actresses as they enter their 40s. Casting calls for her began to dry up, and many roles were instead offered to younger actresses, leaving her facing stiff competition. Notably, during this difficult period, Tichina also suffered a great personal shock when her marriage tragically broke down, leaving her to battle both professional pressures and personal challenges. Through it all, Tichina Arnold remained strong, continuing to be a symbol of resilience and undeniable talent. For a woman who had already battled an industry that looked down on women as they got older, this was another blow. Around that time, fans began to notice changes in her appearance. Rumors spread that she had undergone rhinoplasty, Botox, and fillers. Her soft, expressive features now looked sharper and less natural. Her cheeks were puffier, her lips fuller, and her smile less easygoing. Some observers noted that the warmth that had made her characters relatable seemed to have disappeared. For Tichina Arnold, the irony is painfully obvious. The features that once allowed her to portray the image of an everyday woman, her expressive eyes and charming smile, have been overshadowed by the pursuit of youth. Tichina Arnold's appearance on screen in the late 2010s was notable not for her acting career, but for the noticeable changes to her face. The public seemed less interested in her acting career than in the transformations that made her look like a stranger. Behind her transformed appearance, however, is a resilient woman who continues to thrive. Tichina Arnold remains active in television and theater productions and has even branched out into music and political advocacy. She reminds fans that her legacy extends beyond aesthetics. However, her altered appearance is a quiet testament to the pressures that even the most humorous and talented women face. Tichina Arnold's story is about more than just her choices about appearance. It's about the collision of personal pain and professional insecurity. Once a shining gem of a comedic career, she has faced being reshaped by pain, betrayal, and an industry obsessed with perfection. In her quest to regain control, she lost the natural ease that is key to the timeless quality of her characters. Her journey is a reminder that behind the laughter and fame often lies a deep struggle with identity, a battle no scalpel can truly heal. Thanks so much for sticking with me all the way to the end. Hopefully hearing from a top plastic surgeon today helped you better understand the beauty techniques behind those perfect celebrity looks. Modern plastic surgery isn't just about beauty, it's a combination of art and science that helps enhance everyone's own unique features. If you found this content useful, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the next video. And I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or if there are other topics you want me to dive into. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.